Hello, I am Jamila McMallow, and I'm a mindset coach for women executives and entrepreneurs who are high performers, go-getters, driven, etc. Women just like you. And today I am going live because I want to talk with you about this topic of, when we let our fears get the best of us. And if you're here with me live, please, heart the video and say hello in the comments so I can give you a shout out. And, you know, just to give you a little bit of context, I often in the past had calls with women who definitely wanted to, utilize my services. And unfortunately, their, fears got the best of them and they did not, make a powerful decision to move forward. And that's okay. There's no judgment here. But, it's like we would, of course, have communication, through DM or on the phone, etc., prior, to getting on that call. And there would definitely be that understanding there that I had familiarity with what was going on with them and that I could definitely help. And they got that. But what happens is we can start to get into our own way and we can start to become afraid that, well, I've never done this before. I've never, invested this kind of money into myself, or what if it doesn't work for me? Or, just what if all it is fear kicking in. And I'm going to tell you what the fear really is. It's not about the money. It's about fear of the unknown, fear of the change that is about to happen and what life looks like on the other side of that. Because if it's one thing you're familiar with, it's your trauma, it's your overthinking, it's your, way of being that is driving you crazy, that is not getting you the results that you want in your life, in your relationships, but it's what's familiar to you. It's what you know. And so what happens when we allow ourselves to be held back by our irrational fears, because fear is a good thing, right? It keeps us safe. We want to be scared of a car move. We don't want to, go into a yard or somebody got a crazy dog back there. We don't want to do that. So fear is a good thing, legitimate fear. But then there is irrational fear. And that's really what I'm talking about. And irrational fears are kind of like the ones that I just mentioned. And they can be ones like fear of failing, fear of success, fear of being judged, fear of, being talked about, fear of being told, who do you think you are? You're not good enough. All of those things that we become afraid that these types of outcomes are going to happen. And they're not based on any facts. They're based on past messaging or conditioning, perhaps, that we received from a family member, or even perhaps a past experience, where that took place. But what's happening now in the present it's not even the same thing. But we still hold on to those feelings. We still hold on to those memories. We still hold on to that trauma. And because our brain, right, is just trying to keep us safe, it's sending up a warning signal. Well, we have to start to unravel and discern what are the fears that we actually should heed and what are the fears that we need to run towards. And really, this is a very simple thing. If your fear is standing in between where you are now and where you want to be, then it's an irrational fear and you need to run towards it. And by that, I mean going through it, doing the thing that scares you and getting on the other side of it, getting as close to it as possible and continuing to move forward and go. Because the more you do that, the more your confidence increases. Okay. The less power that fear has, because you begin to see it for what it really is. And that is, it's not real at all. So when we find ourselves in these situations, and I'll use myself for an example, like for fear of success. For me, that's been something that I've struggled with. And fear of success and fear of failure are very closely related. But it's the same fear. For me, ultimately, it's of the unknown, right? What's on the other side of being hugely successful? And so how that will show up for me, because it's the same challenge just at a different level, is I'll find myself slipping back into just really procrastination and slowing down. And it's because I am hitting the brink of that internal thermostat, as it were, success thermostat, and also hitting the brink of my fear of what my brain defines as that successful point, and moving to the other side of that, what that looks like. And it's like, oh no. But what I have learned how to do is to run towards my fear. And what I have learned how to do is to continually invest in coaches and mentors to help me move through that fear. I saw a post someone shared of another coach who said something about people are addicted to hiring coaches because they're afraid to sit by themselves. And I think that's a bunch of garbage. There are absolutely people who hire coaches in search of strategy after strategy to help them to be successful because they're focusing on the wrong thing. When we keep hiring coaches and we're not getting results, it's not the coach, it's not the program, it's us. We're not showing up committed or ready to make the changes necessary to create what we want. It's not, we don't need more skill. We don't need more strategy. We need to get this in order. What's going on in between our two ears. And anybody that tells you that this is not what's holding you back, anybody that tells you that this is that you don't have enough skill and strategy, expertise, etc., to make your dreams happen. If they tell you, no, you just need more strategy, no, you just need more XYZ, you don't need to focus on your emotions. You don't need to focus on your mindset. They're telling you a falsehood. It is not true. You will never find a multiple 6 or 7 figure earner telling you any sort of garbage like that. They will never encourage you to sit so long with your own thinking and your own thoughts that you find yourself in a slump. Been there, done that. And that you find yourself in a place to where you're going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, if you are searching for someone outside of you to save you, that's a different story. Yes, now that's not now you need to do some introspective internal work on yourself with a coach that can help you do that. Not one that's going to help you work on more strategy. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not that you need to sit by yourself and ruminate. It's that you need to find the person who knows how to solve that issue, or who knows how to guide you through the process of developing the understanding of yourself and getting to the place to where you need to be. Please understand that if you had the capacity and the ability to solve every problem you ever had, none of us would need each other. None of us would need each other. And so, excuse me. And so when I saw that coach share that post, I said, wow, she's really loving to speak into people's scarcity and lack and fear. And I don't speak into people's fears, because fear doesn't do anything for anybody unless they're using it as a gauge that, hey, this is somewhere where I need to focus my attention, or this is something that I need to run towards because it's letting me know that I'm headed in the right direction. Because I wouldn't be feeling this fear if I wasn't getting real close to something I want, if I wasn't getting real close to hitting that goal, if I wasn't getting real close to that relationship that I want. So I digress. But my point is this is really not a digression. My point is for you. Stop allowing your fear to be in the driver's seat of your life. Fear will keep you in a situation to where you will ruin your marriage because you're too afraid to raise your hand and ask for help, or to admit that you're the problem. To face the facts that you got some changes to make, that it ain't him. And so you're going to have to face that fear, that you're going to have to go some places that maybe you didn't want to go to, but so what? Do you want to be happy and fulfilled? Yes or no? That's the only question you ever need to ask. Do I want what I want? Yes or no? And if it's a yes, then you run towards that fear. You crush it. And you keep moving forward. But get out of this habit of allowing your irrational fears to dictate what you're going to do with your life, your relationships, your business, and stop listening to people who are validating your irrational fears, because there are people out here in the world who are doing what you're doing, okay, who are not even half as good at it and making more money, or not as cute or pretty or funny as you, and married to a good man and having a happy, wonderful life. So the only person that's ever standing between you and what you want is you. And anybody who's telling you something that, oh, but you just need to sit in it and ruminate it and feel it, and then you just need to go travel to the other side of the world and find yourself, you're going to be over there too. You ain't lost nothing. That's the problem. You ain't lost nothing. You are you wherever you go, in your seat right now where you're sitting, or on the other side of the world, honey. Your issues are going with you. You are not going to find yourself on vacation. You are not going to find yourself on a retreat. And you are not going to find yourself sitting by yourself with them same old thoughts, overthinking, going down the rabbit's hole of negativity and what ifs and all these worst case scenarios that are not even going to happen. But if you want what you want bad enough, if you want to give your marriage a chance, if you want to make this relationship with this good man work, because you know you have a good man, that's why you feel guilty, okay? And that's why you feel unfulfilled, because him being good is actually unfamiliar for a variety of reasons that I'm not getting into in this video. I'm sure I've touched on it in another one. So that's one category, okay? And of course, you know, when it comes to your business, your money, etc., it's the same thing. You got to decide, do I want this bad enough? Am I willing to do what it takes? I had a conversation with a client today, and she's amazing. You know, you attract people that are like you, and we're on that kind of that same length. We have a background in corporate, whatever. And so we're both very, you know, we're methodical, we're structured, we're all the things that make us do what we do. And I love that about her. And she loves that about me. We love that about each other, because birds of a feather flock together. And, you know, one of the things that has helped me, like I said, when I'm moving out of fear, when I'm wanting to get into, you know, this particular fear I mentioned about fear of success and hiring coaches, it's because when I work with a coach, I work with coaches that give me unlimited access to them, to their expertise, so that I can reach out to them when I'm having a moment. And that is exactly the type of support that I provide to my clients, because when you are afraid, you have these irrational fears and you're trying to move through them, you got to feel fully supported. And you are fully supported when you work with me. You are fully supported. You have access to me. And the reason why I brought up my clients, because I want to share with you what she told me today. Because I use an app called Viber. Some coaches use Voxer. I like Viber. And my clients, my one-on-one private clients, have unlimited access to me using Viber. And she said to me, she said, when you are someone who tends to get stuck in your head overthinking, which is all of my clients, she said, just knowing that I have a lifeline to you, just knowing that I can reach out to you as soon as I start heading in that wrong direction in my thinking, instead of just going down the rabbit's hole, I could just call Jamila, message Jamila, and then you help me to shift and reframe what it is that I'm going through, so that I don't go in that direction. And so just having me there, she said, is like having me in her back pocket as a part of her day-to-day life. As she faces challenges in her day-to-day life, she knows she can reach out to me. She doesn't have to wait for a call. She doesn't have to just post it in a Facebook group. Okay? She can reach me immediately. And I may not be able to respond right away, you know, because I do have a life too. But the point is that I'm there. And so she feels fully supported. And so, yes, whenever we invest in ourselves, there's always a little bit of a hesitation, a little bit of a fear there. But once you know you've got someone in your corner, it's just like, boom, you just do it. And so that's what I do for my clients. And I'm going to tell you what else she said. She said also what she loves about working with me is that because we're working one-on-one, she said, I know her on a deep and personal level. And so she has a level of trust and respect for me. And she's able to share things with me that she can't share with other people. And so when she's reaching out to me, in these moments, let me just move that. Sorry, I got an alert. When she's reaching out to me in these moments, she knows that I'm able to see the bigger picture. I'm not just drawing upon some book knowledge. I'm not just drawing upon somebody else's case studies. I'm responding to her based on what I know about her life, her feelings, her background, her emotions, her story. I get it, all of it. And she said the magnitude, the power, and the value of having that, she said, is huge. It's everything. Because for women like us who are driven, who are go-getters, etc., we only need one person in our corner that we know that's there for us to fall apart with, to help us get out of our head with the overthinking, that's there to help us move through our fears, to stay on track. When we know we have that person, we know we can do anything. And so when we let our fears get the best of us, we end up losing out on opportunities. We end up losing out on happiness. We end up losing out on fulfillment of our dreams, of our goals, of our desires, of the relationships that we want to have. We lose out. And it's truly for no reason. Because an irrational fear is just that. It's not real. So are you going to continue to allow something that is not real to keep you from the absolute reality that you not only desire, but deserve and have the power to co-create? See, that's the only question. So if you yourself would like to have a conversation with me about what working together would look like, my link is in the description for this video. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to send me a direct message on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. In fact, I encourage you to do that so that I can, get to know a little bit more about you before we book that call, just to make sure it's a fit even for the call. Okay. Because when clients get on the call or potential clients get on a call with me, that's a call for them to make a powerful decision. That's a call for them to become fully grounded in their commitment. That's a call for them to step into their courage and out of their fear. It is not a convincing call. I don't convince people to work with me. I have enough content out there that lets you know my philosophies, what I do, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, you have access to me. You can just message me and get to know me right there live and in person, in real life. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope that this video provided you with tremendous value when it comes to understanding why it's imperative that you move away from, or I should say, move towards your irrational fears. Okay. Move towards them. Don't let them cause you to become stagnant or procrastinate. And I would love to hear your thoughts below in the comments. All right. So thank you for watching. And let me see here if there's any comments. Nope. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you next time.